Lately, I've started a tiny watercolor routine. I paint my feelings every day. At first, it felt a little strange, like how do you even paint a mood? But little by little, I fell in love with it. It became a moment I actually look forward to. One tiny square a day, and somehow it turned into this whole mood wall in front of me. It only takes about 10 minutes, but it honestly changed the way my days feel. So today I want to share how I do it, so you can try painting your feelings too. Painting your feelings can sound difficult because sometimes we don't even know what we're feeling. But once you start, it gets surprisingly simple. I usually begin with the smallest thing, like a dot, and then I just follow it. I add a circle, some darker color. I let my brush move around it without trying to plan too much. Here, I'm not thinking I want to paint this. I'm just letting the watercolor flow and watching what happens. And the more I paint, the more the feeling shows up. It's really satisfying because there's nothing to get right. You're not copying a photo or making something perfect. You're just placing colors on paper and creating something that belongs only to you. Simple shapes, different colors, and watercolor itself are enough to make a mindful little moment. Honestly, I don't even know what this is, but I love it. These are my very first mood cards, and I wanted to put them together. This wall above my desk feels perfect because I'll see it all the time. If you try this, my biggest tip is choose a spot you pass every day. A wall near your desk, your bedside, even the fridge, somewhere visible. Because when you see your little cards growing day by day, it makes you want to continue. And honestly, after just 10 minutes of painting, I always feel a little lighter, like my mind has more space. One thing that helped me stay consistent is having a dedicated little box for this routine. I like to call it my tiny mood kit. It's basically a grab and paint box, everything I need, always ready. This palette is just for this routine. It's not my usual palette, and I keep the colors limited so I don't spend time choosing. Everything in this box can live here permanently, so I never have to search for tools. For the paper, I cut it in my favorite tiny square format. And I get a big stack of it, so when I want to paint, it's already prepared. And I also used a corner cutter to make the paper look more delicate. I'm using an old brush I don't use much anymore, plus some colored pencils for a little texture sometimes. With my tiny mood kit, I can paint anytime. Before I start, I like to put on some classical music. It helps my emotions feel clearer and the moment becomes more immersive. When I painted this, my mind was full, lots of ideas, plans, thoughts bouncing around. So I painted these round shapes like little thought bubbles. Some are bigger than others, some connect. The darker the color, the more urgent the thought feels. What I love is that watercolor keeps it unpredictable. It makes everything feel free. It moves on its own with surprises. And if you'd like to explore watercolor more deeply, I also have an online course for beginners. It's full of relaxing, fun projects you can follow at your own pace. Feel free to take a look. You might be wondering, how do I find new shapes to paint or come up with so many color combinations? Honestly, sometimes my mind is completely blank when I'm holding the paper. When I need ideas, I use a few books like little prompt libraries. They help me start without overthinking. If you want to express your feelings through color, this Japanese book, A Dictionary of Color Combinations, is a good resource. There are more than 300 color combinations inside, and it shows you palettes that naturally work well together. And if you tend to think too much about the result or you have trouble letting go while painting, this book, Un et demi, is really helpful. It's more like a freestyle watercolor journal, great for loosening up. And if you like expressing deeper feelings with simple aesthetic graphics, I Used to Have a Plan can be really inspiring too. Its style is quite minimal, but full of emotion. I find it much easier to connect my feelings to color, especially in two color combinations. So when I'm not sure how I feel, I'll flip through and just wait for one palette to speak to me. Like this one, the moment I saw it, it clicked, and I used it to paint this tiny mood card. And your feelings don't have to be abstract all the time. Sometimes they're very concrete, like a little image flashing through your mind. For example, before I painted this one, I kept seeing the shape of a tree in my head. I don't know why, it was just there. So I painted it, not realistically, just as a feeling. A tree can be calm or lonely or hopeful, depending on the day. And it doesn't have to be a tree. It could be wild grass, a coffee cup, a sky, or even a tiny portrait of your cat. If an image comes to you, just paint it out in any way you can. Let me know if you're going to try this. Let Watercolor guide you 10 minutes a day and create one tiny mindful moment for yourself. If you want to learn watercolor essentials in a relaxing way like I do, you can also join my online course and explore the magic of painting tiny. See you next time!